This is an important thing you need to clean on a regular basis. My God, right at the bottom, and that's what's causing the problem. Have you never had this machine worked on?
Never.
Well, this is in excellent condition. How did you get the water out of the machine that was in there?
Manually, I just took...
Right, so there's going to be a lot of water in there.
Possibly. Could you take it and go in there? Get in there.
Okay, so day 3, we're out with Barry. This is only going to be a short one today. We've got a glass to replace on a ceramic hob, and that's in a customer's house up the top. We've also got a fridge to go to, but we're having trouble getting hold of the customer, and that is water basically appearing inside the floor of the fridge, and that's most probably just a blockage. These fridge freezers this week have been quite a few, for the simple reason the very hot weather we've had. A lot of people haven't cleaned the backs, so some fridge freezers have been overheating, and some have just been creating a lot of ice on the back panels. And of course the drip system that goes through to the compressor for defrost, where the water goes to be evaporated, has blocked, and we've seen quite a few of these this week. We've also got a Siemens to go out to.
Siemens washing machine, yeah, not working as well, so...
Right, okay, so we've got a couple of machines to do this morning. I've got to be back in the van by about 3-4 o'clock because we got a live show at 5 o'clock. And I've still got a shed load of editing to do because the last 2 days now we've done 8-9 jobs a day. Yeah, which have been quite a long day to say the least. Anyway, we're off on the road.
Back in there, Paul.
1980s Melee?
Looks to be like the day it left the factory. Who'd the match? As I was saying to Bernadette, just even a wee bit of number plate foam or something, you know, to just soften the blow against the hard surface would be beneficial, you know.
Yeah.
But these are lovely to work on.
You told me you were coming over to have some makeup on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need it?
Yeah, I do. Big difference when I have it.
Yeah.
It's mostly at the weekends.
Right. You were down that pub I was in on the weekend then, with those lovely little spinner dancers.
Is that right?
Yeah. What was that place called, Barry?
Where was that? Remind me.
Where we went to
the
the
McGilligan's pub, or down the Clanry.
The Clanry.
Clanry.
Yeah.
Oh, there was some dolly birds down there.
Oh, well.
Paul thought they were paid to come in to entertain the crowd, but I says, no, this is every weekend they come down to jive, you know.
Oh, yeah. Jiving's a big thing.
Jiving's a big thing.
Yeah. I thought it had all been off, but no. It's back at full tilt.
I'll put it this way, they took 12 to 20 years off my life just watching them.
I know, yeah. Yeah, when they were jiving, when I was dancing and there was jiving, there was only one slow dance. That was the last dance of the night.
Time to go home.
Well,
I'm getting to the age they all become slow dancers now, mate.
yeah. If he drops, can you delete that?
No, that makes excellent video footage if he drops it.
He's waiting to get me all week.
He's wearing a normal shirt today. It's the first time he's not wearing a macho stretch shirt.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, they had hope for him when he was younger that he would grow out of that eventually.
Aye,
Yeah.
baby gap pace.
Exactly. Nice.
Lovely.
My wife clean under that, I wonder.
You didn't train her that well.
There's a mark on it there.
Let's not get into shit on the video, okay?
If you see something coming through behind you, I'm going to duck, okay?
We've had a couple of good comments on, but we had one bloke we cleaned behind the fridge freezer because if his wife had seen what was behind it, we were all lynched.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But there are things like that.
And then another guy was doing something in his fridge freezer on another job, and he turned round and basically, she never watches YouTube, we don't give a damn.
Treats. Aye. New hob glass, look, just for you. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. She was isolated.
I think so, yeah, it's off.
Well, the cooker's on, that's why I was saying that. I'd hate for you to go up in smoke on the video.
I would, that usually happens on a Friday.
She's not square.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Lovely design, and that's so easy to take the glass off it.
Oh, some of these manufacturers are very thoughtful. And some of them are complete and utter.
What do you reckon, Doug? Good. Everything's lined up and working accordingly.
That's it done.
Sorted for another day.
It would be useful if they had a bit more cushion underneath it.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I'd put a silicone bead in if need be, but let it go off. But you need to level it. But as you say, the best stuff to put in is the foam.
Wee bit of foam, yeah. But I think it's the... Well, we don't know if it was a saucepan or not, but...
Yeah, well, it could be just if it was touching that edge too much and a heavy roast on there or something. And when I say roast, you know, 6-7 litres of boiling potatoes, 6-7 litres of boiling carrots and everything.
Well,
anyway.
Another AEG back in action. Another beautiful oven there.
Let's have a look at it.
Look
at the enamelling on that. I mean, that's enamelling that'll last 100 years.
It's beautifully screwed together. Even the switchgear.
Yeah.
Anything else is a compromise.
I mean, in its day, in today's money, that oven would be, if it was a new one, 1,500, 2,000.
Not more. Like I can imagine if that was whatever, nearly the 1,000 when back in the 70s, 80s, what it would be today to manufacture that, like definitely 3,000 or 4,000. But it's beautiful. It's lasted the test of time, so.
Oh, very much so.
Paid for itself 100 times.
Definitely 100%.
Okie dokie. I get this old glass. That's you now, my man.
Well done.
We're back in business.
Will this guy be allowed out in his own shortly?
Well, from what I've seen, to be honest, no. Well, just stopped off because Barry needed to pick up a coffee at a ridiculous price, and shall we say, I haven't got one because they're lousy, but the senoritas are very good around here, I must admit. Anyway, the next one we're going out to is the Bosch not emptying.
New Bosch washing machine, not emptying yet.
Right.
And noisy as well, so.
Could be a coin in the pump.
Could be, I hope so.
All the impellers fell off.
All the impellers fell off. Something that lets me go home early today.
Well, you have to go home early today for the simple reason you've got to drop me off before 4 o'clock.
If these guys don't want to work no more, hey, that's the economy we're in, you know. Oh well, I'm going to enjoy my coffee.
Hello?
Hello there, Miss Gillan. It's Barry from Domestic Appliances.
Yes,
Well, we're going to call up and have a look at the washing machine for you.
that's great, yeah. When will you be here?
We're there in 5 or 10 minutes to say. I'm just on the other side of Letterkenny here.
That's great. See you then,
All right,
alright?
see you soon. Bye-bye.
Booked.
Booked.
And then
it wouldn't empty.
Okay.
I thought I'd do a washing to see, and then the rattle started again. Next thing started to beep, and when I looked, the water was in it, and it wasn't doing a cycle, and I couldn't get it open. So I went into YouTube, and I was able to open the wee thing at the bottom.
Probably your video, was it?
Possibly. And I was able to get the thing and pull it down, and it opened the door. So
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll put money on a coin or a hair clip in the pump.
Oh, who knows? We'll see.
But then would that delay it?
Yes.
Right.
What do I see? Nobody chatting to. Hello. Nobody talking to you.
See the sign of the door, beware of the dog.
No Alsatian.
I'm going to shut the door
Yeah.
to keep him
Nice
quiet.
to remove him anyway.
I really like that.
Pump isn't even operating. We should have heard it.
It'll fire up now in a second. What do you see? No water in it either, you see, so
Yeah.
won't help. I'll add a little bit in just with the rinse program.
I wouldn't, because I think it's the pump straight away.
Are you feeling it?
Yeah. I'm putting money on a hair clip.
I might get a wee towel off you just.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of water will come out of here. Do I see?
They will come out, those things.
They do. They're very, very fragile. Thank you. Let me get a wee look-see.
I know that the gentleman out at Erwin said...
How did you get the water out of the machine that was in there?
Manually, I just took...
Right, so there's going to be a lot of water in there.
Possibly.
You're bang
Winner,
on.
winner, chicken dinner.
You're bang on.
But would that interfere
Yeah,
with
that
the
will stop the
cycle?
whole wash. That'll stop the whole wash.
I'll tell you something now. That definitely is not my money or clips or anything.
Well, it's my money.
My daughter...
No, it's my money now.
My daughter has... they live beside us here and I do their washing. When I'm doing,
What people don't realise is when the pump is not working, it will not allow the machine to go in. When it comes to the rinse cycle, you will have multiple rinses. So you have one rinse empty, then it fills again, then it empties again, then it fills again, then it empties again, and then goes into the final spin.
Right.
If there's a coin jammed in the pump,
Yeah.
it will just stop on the program.
Yeah. Can I ask you, can you show me again what you actually did there in case this happens again that I don't know what to do?
So, let me just stop the machine here. Now,
I couldn't get that off for a start.
Yeah, well, the coin could have been jamming it. Right, put it back in, because I can tell you straight away there's something else in the sump hose.
Right. Good job I asked you to do that then.
We're going to need another towel.
Coin.
No, no, give her something.
No, it's going to be worth pulling her out back,
Yeah.
tilting her back, and checking that sump hose.
There's plenty sitting on there, good.
what do we see here?
Don't forget my beer coin. I don't want that going
The
in.
lucky coin.
Those add up on a daily basis.
What part of England are you from?
No, Wales.
Oh, lovely.
What part of Northern Ireland are you from?
No,
No, I'm joking, because you called me English.
we have an English accent. I was born in Oxford. Just thought I'd drop that in. I was born in Oxford. So, but we loved Wales anytime we were over. We loved Wales, the castles and all, when the children were small. But your accent's not that well.
No, I'm very well travelled. I only spend maybe nowadays a month or 2 months in the UK.
Yeah.
I got a film studio in Portugal, and I spent last winter in Africa looking at the Appliance game out there.
Right. Very good.
Dual Wales are the most castles. Oh, England, Scotland, Wales.
Well, we have to keep the English out.
Aye.
That'll go down well on the video as well. I wish I had £1 for every lady that cleaned the top of the machine when I pulled the machine out.
It's great, isn't it? You'll be a wealthy man.
I'm sure we don't be pulling these machines.
Don't be
They're
pulling
quite
them out.
heavy and right.
See your legs.
Yes, here we look.
That sounds clear.
I'd say the detergent ball is just stuck right away.
Right, just
I'm
jammed.
feeling more coins in it.
Oh, for God's sake.
Too much money. I'll throw it in the
Throw
waste.
it away.
No, that-
That's Kieran.
That's all right, I don't mind if there's €25 in there. Pays for the night out.
That's right, get sits there now, you should be checking their pockets and not on them. Nobody leaves money anymore. You know, I used to make a honey.
You see, I was feeling alright there.
You don't feel anything there?
No. I just see.
Just put it on a rinse cycle.
That's what I'm going to do now, just with you.
Give her a flush through.
We'll soon know by the speed the water's leaving if there's any more problems on there.
You're the surgeon's fixed. And he says, oh, you're on there. I said, someone there too. Hey. Nicer now.
She's doing something.
I've only had, I'm married over 40 years, 3 washing machines. These are obviously plastic, if you know what I mean. The one I had was metal.
Aye.
The same as this one here. I must have
That
this.
was the best dryer that was ever produced.
Where?
That one there, yeah.
Do you know how long I have it? 20 years?
Yeah, I mean that's a
Never let me down.
Zanussi Nexus system,
Yeah.
and we were discussing that the other day in the vehicle. They're made by Electrolux, and some of them were AG, some of them were Electrolux, some of them were Zanussi, but brilliant dryer. The only thing that ever goes wrong with that, which makes it expensive to repair, is the circuit board.
Yeah.
Good machine.
But we had, there was a Zuki washing machine as well, and that's the one that I had, and I had it 20 something years.
Yeah.
So this is my 3rd machine, I'm married over 40 years.
Yep. Well,
And
washing
that's only a year old.
machines are like modern marriages. Most of them only last 4 to 5 years nowadays.
But when I say 40 years, 48.
Sure, we were used to have another wee cause we had to continue. She says to me, she says, look, them couple of whites, babe.
were holding hands.
Somebody get it. I said, you fucking think there. They were a week married and it was gone.
They're gone.
A week, and I went out and said to the woman, I said, what the fuck happened? I'm washing no shirt for any cunt. That's what she says. You were the manager, none. Imagine, a week.
And I didn't say that there, but I said, look at the way they hold hands.
Hey, it's in fucking...
I get to see him too, Gabriel, don't
If I
worry.
can just stop you there, hear that noise?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
That's the pump system running. That's the noise you weren't hearing when it got stuck in the cycle,
Right.
because the impeller, the propeller that pumps the water out, was
Yeah.
jammed by the coin.
All right.
So simple, these things could ring off.
How are you able to open that as quickly as you do?
So if you had pause there, right, so
Right.
if we start a cycle,
Right.
and you'll see that they have marked reload onto
Yeah.
the start, so if you hit it again,
Yeah.
you'll hear the clunk clunk of the door
Right,
lock. That's
yeah.
quick release door lock, so
Alright.
it'll let you add something if you
Alright,
forget a sock
yeah,
or something, you know.
yeah.
But now when it gets into the wash and heats up,
Yeah.
you won't be able to do that.
Yeah.
It'll flash at you.
Because I just do the basic. If it's
Somebody asks you
ramp-
what to do, you should say, I'm a machine surgeon.
Gabriel, could you take it and go in there? Get in there. It's probably shite, you know. Yeah. So if I'm doing it, I do either a quick wash or do this one at the mixed load.
Yeah.
And I just stick to, and when that's finished with the mixed load, I do then a spin just to make sure that.
You can if you wish, yeah.
But that's all I've ever done with it. I haven't done anything else.
No, you're doing right with it. No, it's just there's a few wee things on it there that does
So
make
it's
life
nice to
easier.
know that about the pause, and you can
Aye.
put add
It will
something on.
only work if there's only a certain amount of water in the machine.
Right. Okay.
You have a 15-20 minute window, I think, when the wash starts off,
Right,
which
okay.
most people discover they haven't
Yeah.
added something to do that, like, you know.
So if there's that noise again, and I mean the fellow in the shop asked me, but I wasn't, and that seemed very stiff for me to get it off. Did you do it anti-clockwise?
Anti-clockwise only
Right.
goes one way now. They
Yeah.
can be stiff, but now that 20 cent might have been jammed in between the
Right,
impeller and that
okay,
filter,
right,
so
okay. And there's definitely nothing else on
No,
there.
no, it's
No,
good.
it's emptying perfectly
Yeah.
now.
It's good now. It's just them 20 cents are the right size to get into the impeller.
Yeah.
And you could look in there 3 times and not see it at all in
Right,
there, but
yeah.
you have to put the finger in just sometimes.
Yes.
I'm just going to, while you push it back in and put everything on, I'm just going to turn it to a rinse. And then while you push it back in and everything, the lady will be able to see that it empties and fills and everything.
I'm going to say no, yes.
See, now it's filling.
Yes.
And then in about 4 minutes time, you'll see it emptying.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, YouTube's fantastic. My daughter had one of these expensive hoovers, and it broke. Is that working all right? Yeah.
Oh, it's grand, it's a wee bit
No,
off level.
just a little bit of adjustment on the leg because the
She
floor's
rang up the
unlevel.
guy to come to fix it. He was charging 100 and something to come out. She went into YouTube and said, go to the bottom. Did it, going great, they never had any bother since. And this one here, I didn't heat one day and I went on YouTube again.
That would have been my video that you watched.
But I'm telling you, it's great. Like I was saying, these videos are great because I was able to go, do you a job right now? I was able to go into the bottom of it and my husband drained it. And I'm telling everybody about it.
You sure you've done your job right there? Do you want the mop as well, Barry? Okay, we got to keep this customer happy.
Well, Gabriel couldn't behave himself, so I just have to take over everything here.
How did the experience? I'm sorry, somebody telling you someone. You want to do it. You know.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's a great one when you are able to do it yourself, you know.
I keep lodgers here and people for the rallying things. And if I was cooking food, I'd say, give a right, serve the food, give a no talker, just serve the food. Next thing I come in and give us it, and I got a medal for this, and I got a medal for that, and I'm going out to get this. They said we were blissfully happy because we were all set.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, thank God, that's great. Could I have found that 50 cent or 20 cent myself?
You could have. Sometimes
But
though.
we still come round to collect the money.
We still come around.
I'm going to show you another little trick in a second, I'm going to put money that you're not aware of
Right.
with your dryer.
Yes.
And this will save you calling Barry out in the future.
Yeah. You give it much with this, please. Get the basket. He's going to show me something here.
No, I don't need the drum empty.
Right.
I don't need the drum empty.
Stay and do the ironing and everything today. Yeah, I take the day of work. It's great.
Well, she said she cooks breakfasts and
Oh,
everything,
for
so
God's
you know, I'm just lining up. I was lining up tomorrow.
But these are a good machine, aren't they?
They are.
Oh yeah. The only thing about them is the sealed drums and the cost of, if a circuit board fails on this machine, it's not cheap, and if the drum bearings or spider fail, then it's not cheap.
It seems to be the circus is the biggest.
Well, no, the most expensive thing in these to repair is when the... No. Some of the they're a German company, but some of these now are either made in Spain or Poland, aren't they?
America, a lot of big factories.
But that machine, looking at it, is about 8-9 years old. Series 4, is it, or newer? To me, that looks an older machine.
How do I say? What about 2020? What did you would have got?
I got it a year past there in February.
Oh, it's only a year past.
Yeah.
Maybe in the shop, maybe.
No, they still are selling these.
Right.
For I've done a few myself.
Well, look, they manufacture, one model, they can manufacture 10,000-20,000
I
minimum.
thought the way that you said when we were model, I assumed it was because it was in the shop and they're selling it that way.
No,
But we even have it a year past February.
it's still available to buy it.
Yeah.
They're a good machine.
Now, within 3-4 minutes, that machine will kick into empty.
Yeah.
Do they wash extremely well now?
Now, out in the flat next door, I multitask. So if my daughter's away to work and the husband, I take their washing, bring it in here, put it in with mine. It makes sense rather.
Yeah.
Now that money's coming from them, so they'll begin.
It only takes.
Yeah.
It's like me. Your country is so clean, and I smoke. I got a pocket full of cigarette butts. Yeah. Because I won't throw them out on the floor or anything.
Yeah.
And you only need to leave a pocket with coins in or hair clips.
Yeah.
Even those hair ties, one of the most common things that block these machines up is those little elastic hair bands.
I'm going to have to be extra careful now when I'm bringing anything in from them to make sure. But my niece went to Poland and she said it was the cleanest country she was ever in.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm starting to say this is one of the cleanest.
Really?
Yeah, and I've been to 120 countries in the world, and I'm highly
You're well
impressed.
travelled, aren't you? What's your first name again?
Paul.
Paul. And you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Paul, is it? Does it say
No, it's how to repair.
how to repair?
Yeah.
Right.
You've already seen my videos
and-
because I was the one that did loads of videos on that Zanussi dryer.
Do you do the industrial ones as well?
Huh?
Do you do the big ones,
You
industrial?
know the industrial big machine?
Very rarely, but we do sometimes come across them.
I work for they had a big linen care, they call them.
Ah,
They
yes.
have a big machine, like a concrete mixer.
Aye.
What's it, just grab
Aye,
it,
they're
send it
fantastic.
up the man and
You can see the suds in there, obviously, because I didn't get it runs
It
properly.
hadn't emptied properly. That machine's sweet as a nut now.
Good, thank goodness for that.
When it clicks down to the 16, I think it is, it'll go into
Yeah.
first rinse mode.
Yeah. I never thought I'd get excited about my machine, but when you're without... Anyway, my daughter has a machine which is a washer-dryer. Now,
They're bad news.
I don't know why she decided to go with that, but anyway,
I don't. You know, if you can afford to have two separate machines, always have two separate machines.
I told her not to use the dryer at all because I was out one day and she said the stuff was just crinkled, you know.
Yeah.
So I told her never to use the dryer, just use the washer.
Aye, for someone on their own, they're fine for a shirt or two, like, you know, but the very inefficient system.
Yeah. Are you with Domestic Appliance long?
I'm with them. Well, we owned TDA before we took over Domestic Appliance, so I was there since small child in and out time. So most of my life,
you
you could
Kathleen then and that.
I know Kathleen very well.
Karen's relation of mine.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Kathleen's some operator.
Isn't she?
She is.
Yeah.
She's very good.
She's very witty.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, very dry sense of humour.
Too witty.
Yeah.
No, we have a great bunch out there now. Hey, to be fair, we're doing good.
Yeah.
It's a good everybody's.
You're busy anyway.
We're never short of work on the job, so it is great, especially out in the road too. Like, you get to see so many things, so it is great.
Yeah.
And keeping Paul entertained then as well.
Do you take him around to show him all the?
He's out since Monday there with us, so.
Yeah. But have you taken him out socially?
No, he's done that himself.
No, you haven't seen it. You haven't seen this one put his hand in his pocket yet.
I get that wee bit of Welsh.
I've got to wait for him to do another 5 machines to pick up the coins before I even stand a chance of a beer.
I'm only a young chimney sweep. I have no money.
No, leave it go. Leave it go. I can't remember if there's 2 or 3 rinse cycles.
Give me that bit of kitchen. Will you that line up there, please? Thank you. Just so that if it does this in video. You've a good steady hand too, Paul. For me to get the husband to video me packing something, it's all shaky.
Oh, trust me, mine shakes. There you go. And she's empty.
Good.
Once you hear that cavity noise, the sucking, you know there's no water in the machine.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely perfect. There you go. Right, do you clean this condenser?
No, my husband.
Oh my God.
God.
This is an important thing you need to clean on a regular basis. Yep, well, I'm embarrassing you, but to be honest with you, if I teach you this, it will save you a fortune in electricity.
Right, okay.
And it will actually make your dryer dry the clothes a lot quicker. This needs to be taken outside and hit with a hose pipe and to remove all this fluff.
Yeah, I used to just do it at the tap here.
And the other thing you need to do is you have 2 filters in these machines. This one in here, that always needs to be kept clean. And then you have this one here, and you want to put the vacuum cleaner down here because you've got all this in here.
Yeah.
Okay, and those are 2 things that you need to do.
Because I'll sort all that out now.
Okay, now when you put this back in, you've got some catches here.
Right.
Okay, so this slides in like this. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's 2 catches there, and you pull them down, and literally every 10 loads you want to be flushing this in water.
Right.
Okay. Now you need to clean it 2 ways. You need to clean water going through this direction. That is the flow of air that comes through the drum to go back up into the drum.
Right.
And this way needs to be cleaned because this is the external air which is sucked in through this side and out this side.
Right.
And because this is made out of aluminium, this is where the condensing part of the dryer takes place. Right. So your warm, moist air travels down through here, and as it goes through here, it condenses into liquid, and then that's what actually fills that tray up on top. Okay?
But it doesn't fall when I'm emptying this.
Yeah.
What do you see? I noticed, you see there's a wee... Here, it's just a wee.
No, that doesn't matter.
Oh,
that's on the top.
That won't get
that's
any
just
worse.
that's just a breather.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do empty that.
All this you want to get a vacuum cleaner down there and a paintbrush and clean it all up.
Yes.
Okay.
And get a hose on this and put it on
take it outside and literally turn it into brand new.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. That's great. No, thank you so much.
No problem. Sorry to do you out of money, Barry.
Oh, it's all right. I'm used to it.
Okay, that was a very interesting job. The next one that we've got is a Siemens washing machine, and this is just not running.
Not running.
How old roughly?
Going by the model number on it, I'd say it's a mid 2004 to 2007 build machine.
Okay.
Now it could be different when we get out, but.
So this will be a brush motor, built on the old Bosch design.
Yep.
Well, it is a Bosch really, with a Siemens badge on it. Of that era, I'm going to put money on the brushes.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, because it's a job that's so tricky.
Well, it's not.
And my poor little hands.
Well, it is with your toolbox.
My cut-free hands this week.
Yeah, here come the gloves again. The marigolds are going to be out.
Save my precious hands. But no, it's fine. Nothing we can't
You
manage.
sure you don't want to fill it with more shit coffee? There you go. There's a fucking coffee thing.
Oh, our
there.
coffee's beautiful. Do not be shit talking our coffee. These posh guys from Wales, you know, hard to please them, folks. But you know, we take all
No, the
sorts.
Welsh coffee shit as well. I am willing to drive 1,000 miles to Portugal for coffee.
We, you know, I thought one foot in the grave ended many years ago, but I've got Victor back out the road. You know, I don't believe it.
Anyway, there was a wash on, but I saw that there was water,
Yeah.
you know, and it would run obviously in the grooves here. And I thought, well, you know, because the machine had been on, it must have been that. I came to the conclusion myself, maybe I hadn't shut the door right.
Okay.
But it happened, it went after that. I pulled it out, I had a look. I don't know what to do, but you know, everything looked all right. I mopped it up.
Yeah.
And after several days probably, I put it on again and the bloody thing went. So I thought, great, hunky dory. But it happened again. But when it happened again, and there was water again, as I say, but when it happened the second time, which is about a week ago, I couldn't, no matter what I did, turned it off, left it, came back to it the next day.
Can I ask
emptied
a
it,
question there?
had a look.
Was the water still in the drum when you tried to turn
No,
it back
was
on?
not. I don't think water went into the drum at all.
Okay.
I don't think the clothes were. Yeah, I didn't see water in it at all. I didn't have to wait, apart from the very brief thing, you know, to open the door.
Yeah.
This thing, this button here and the light there, would flick intermittently, you
Yeah.
know, regularly. But no matter what I did, I would just have to turn it off at the wall. So
Okay.
that's as far as it would go.
All right.
Nothing, and it would make that noise like
Yeah.
everything was going, but there was never water in it.
Okay. We'll see if it turns here now in a second. It's probably at the age now where the carbon brushes have worn
Yeah.
down and it, you know.
And this was one of the original Siemens Bosch machines that were very high quality in its day. This was one of the top of the range machines.
Sounds like.
And if we can rectify it, it's
a good
well worth
purchase.
rectifying, because you will not buy anything like this
Like
again
this,
on the
yeah.
market.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is turning.
It doesn't get a whole lot. You know, if you, it's not like there's a big family or anything.
No, it's
so,
like the
you
day
know,
it left the factory. Look at it, it's immaculate.
It is a
but
very
I don't
nice
know about
machine.
immaculate.
It's extremely-
But it doesn't. You know, some kind of are very heavily
Used, yeah.
But this wouldn't have been. You know.
Even the spans down to 800 as well, like, so it's obviously had a
Well, I
lovely
tried the
life.
spin down. I thought I just twiddled with a few things and maybe I tried a rinse or whatever.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get it to go at all. And I thought that's odd now, especially when it came good.
Yeah.
When it was left alone for a little bit. you know.
Okay.
But I couldn't fill putting the washing
Exactly,
in,
yeah.
taking the washing out, putting the washing in, taking the washing
We'll see, unless the load's in, there's enough now with nothing in it that it's able to turn, but we'll get to the bottom of it.
out. Okay.
And was it a bad leak, Marianne, was it?
No,
Just
there
a
wasn't
little
a
bit?
lot of water
Okay.
at all. And it was more that I noticed it in the grooves of the tiles.
Okay.
She's not level anyway.
It's off a wee
There's a
bit, yeah.
bit of movement on there.
It does rattle. I mean, I would normally have it on the top spin.
Yeah, it's only because the foot isn't adjusted correctly.
Okay, okay. And it does tend to kind of rock.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
because it only if they're not level on these, especially these types of
Yes,
tiles,
yes.
because
They're not level
yeah,
anyway. Yeah.
just needs leveling up a little bit. But she sounds, drum wise, she sounds in excellent condition.
Okay, okay. Good to see now that if there's any water,
Magic touch now, it won't fault.
I should shut the front door there. Sorry, I thought you were at the front door.
No bother.
Well, that's the correct level. You put that on a wash cycle?
That's on a wash cycle, 30
Yeah,
degrees.
so if you put it on a rinse cycle, it'll be a higher level. It'll empty first, I imagine. Aha. That's not emptying quickly. stanchion pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't, or there's no U-trap in there, so you're not going to hear the noise of the water emptying. Okay, Barry, could you turn it on to empty? What we're doing is testing the flow coming out of the machine.
Do you want a bit of water in it first?
Yes, please.
Add a bit of water here.
Good pressure.
Great pressure. Fantastic. Second stage.
Secondary valve. And it's got the Aquastop fill pipe, and those Aquastops that you can see in there are designed if you ever get a leak on the actual pipe. It's got a safety system built into it. Turning it to empty, and this should be a good flow of water coming out of here, which is very good. Nothing wrong with the emptying on that at all. And it's the machine you were hoping for, Barry, which is the whole back comes off.
It's the beautiful one made in Germany.
Yeah.
With the easy access.
Not only easy access, I want to show, pass me one of the screws. The screws, everything they use on this machine are absolutely brilliant. And the next two middle screws that come out are the heavy thread ones. This truly is an exceptional example to what Bosch and Siemens used to make many years ago.
It's a shame they're closing this factory next year, you know.
Are they?
They are.
This was the German factory?
That's come out of Nauen in Germany, yeah.
Yeah.
As you can see there, made in Germany. But they're planning to shut that next year, you know. It's a big shame because they made some beautiful things there.
Yeah, well, this is when German engineering was German engineering.
Yeah.
This is how they got their reputation back in the 80s and 90s with the car industry, electronics industry, appliance industry, and many more.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to remember the adverts where they used to say Technik, you know, made in Germany. What car company was that? Volkswagen or BMW?
Vorsprung.
Technik.
Oh, that was Audi, advancement throughout technology.
Yeah, that was really symbolising the quality. They knew what they were making.
And what was Robert Bosch's motto?
I mean, you don't see these type of screws anymore in any washing machine. What are they, M4 threads, M6?
Yeah, the 25 there, and those smaller ones. And
Yeah, no, that's the Torx. I'm talking the threads. I think they're M4, M6.
What's so different about the screws? What's so good about the screws?
It's just the quality. Literally everything about the quality. There is, you know, everything about the quality on this machine was second to none. And, you know, you've got to remember this is a Bosch drum that was made in 2000 and is the ID label telling us? So if you just look in the corner of these machines, just here, you can see 02, 07, 03, and that's the year the cabinet was made. But these circuit boards that they produced in this era were second to none. You've got a pressure switch, which is the old mechanical pressure switch with a diaphragm. The whole quality of the machine was when Germany really built fantastic equipment. The first thing we're coming across here is, if I can just focus, this machine has got a lot of corrosion in the base of the machine. Now this machine has got an anti-flood device. This means if water is present, which you can see in the base of the machine there, the machine would automatically go into a safety mode and not work. And this is what we think is the problem. So we've either got a hole in the door seal, a possible leak on the drum, or even one of the pipes are causing a problem. Okay, talking about the Aquastop here, and this is a hose within a hose. They were so brilliant at designing their machines that the Aquastop system had a secondary hose that went down to the base of the machine, meaning if the actual outer hose, the inner hose, sorry, ruptured or had a leak, then the water would go into the base of the machine through the drainer pipe, which you can see there, and that will actually drain into the bottom, and of course the safety device would automatically come on if the hose was leaking. Everything about this machine is superbly designed, but we have found a problem, and we'll go to this in a second. Barry, just quickly show us exactly where the hole is, please.
So it's just nicely conveniently placed down underneath the lip here. So obviously when the machine was getting to
My God,
the rinse
right
stage,
right at the bottom, and that's what's causing the problem.
Yeah.
And what impresses me more with DAS than anything else, on the van, he had the exact door seal. So
Now,
I take the front off, mate.
You can?
Yeah, I still take the front off. But Barry is determined.
work smarter, not harder.
Have
eh?
you got one of those sponges with a green bit on the back of it that you use in your kitchen sink?
Yeah, like a scour or
A
And
scour,
the reason
yeah, and I'm going to
we would
borrow
do
one of
that
Ferry
is to
liquid off you.
clean this area up
sure. There's a
in
bit of
here.
Perfect.
And just to show you the door seal, if I rotate it round,
That one there, I'd say, is after.
I'm trying to do this
He's
one-handed.
just looking to wipe a wee bit of the.
You can see my finger
And you know
pointing
what?
through
We'll bring
the
a wee bit
bottom
of
of the
kitchen
door
roll as
seal.
well. The next thing you'll be asking.
I have loads of that.
That'll be-
I couldn't have asked for a better job to occur today. It really does show German engineering, and this is a 23-year-old machine, and it is still in mint condition.
I have some German relatives that just come home.
Well, you'll be buying them a drink.
So I'll be yeah, all the all this evening.
Well, I'll give you a card after, so you, in a month's time you'll be able to go on the channel and say, that's my kitchen. And the very nice man kept my face out of the picture.
So I wasn't too far off myself when I thought it must have been. I thought it was the door or something because there wasn't a lot of water. I thought, well,
Yeah.
it's not a, you know.
Now, this is, I mean, this has been leaking slowly more and more,
Yeah.
because now the hole is most probably 1 centimetre to 1.5 centimetres, and because it's on the bottom of the door seal, when it was washing, a little bit of water was dripping into the base of the machine. And what was happening, because of the room temperature, that water was evaporating over a period of a week or whatever. So when you came to use the machine the next time, you didn't have a problem.
Yes.
But as the hole got bigger, the water level was more and more, and then it would go into safety mode, so you couldn't start the machine. I think what Barry will also do, to do this job properly, we are also going to check the carbon brushes on the motor. Yeah, because as Barry's out here, it, you know, for the sake of £10–15 for the carbon brushes, if they're worn, it is worth replacing, and then you won't see his ugly face again for another 10 years. And trust me, that is the last machine. I would love that machine to have in a showroom, because that is one of the best quality German-made machines that I ever, you know, everything about it.
Yeah, that safety thing. that you
The
talked
safety
about,
thing
either
on the
reservoir
water
or
valve, the
express
anti-flood device to protect the customer, the build quality of the machine. But you also have to remember that, you know, although Bosch is not a very nice company today because of their way they are sealing the drums up, the drum on this machine was a 2003 drum. The inner drum was great build quality with a great spider and a heavy set of bearings, but the actual outer drum is made of plastic, which was used from recycled plastics and everything else. You know, and just everything about this machine was brilliant.
Good machine, and it even had a lovely stainless steel stretch band around the inner drum as well to reinforce.
Yeah, look, both bands are stainless steel. Look at that.
Yeah.
23 years old and no corrosion on the outer band. And that's the outer band. Normally the modern ones today would be rusty as anything, but even the springs are stainless steel, I think.
It's found a lovely caring home.
Now, for those of you who want to change a door seal, there's a much easier way of doing this. Engineers can do this because they've done it multiple times and they think they're saving time on the job. I did the same, but really nowadays I remove the front of the drum, front of the panel and the control panel, because he's going to have so much fun getting this spring on.
There's a trick to that too.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the front off for the video?
No, well,
happy enough?
look, you're going to take the front off because you want me to get the spring on.
We'll see. Yes.
Now, you did notice the other day in one of the videos, he did say, oh yeah, I put this spring on straight away.
Yeah.
Right tools for the job and a right way to do things.
I'm not here to give therapy, I'm here to fix.
troubleshooting. Is it just wear and tear then on the rubber?
Oh yeah, it's a 23-year-old rubber door seal. You have to remember that rubber door seal is every time the machine goes into spin and rinse, it's bouncing about. And if it was a piece of metal, it would be metal fatigue. But because it's rubber, and you may have left something in the pockets that started the hole, like something with a buckle on, your husband, someone's pair of jeans with a coin or anything like that. None of us are perfect in this world, and we do make mistakes leaving stuff on and other bits and pieces. Now he's just put some liquid on his gloves because this is going to be so much fun. Bugger's done it first time. I hate it when you get show-offs. Nope.
Second time.
Once.
Now, you can, if you really struggle, no, can you in that door lock?
No.
Put a screwdriver through some of them.
No.
Yep.
This is going to make my day, and it's 10 times harder on camera.
Pressures for tyres.
I tell you, they call this a hard job. I'm laughing my socks off having fun here. Ooh, second time. Well done, sir.
That was a good one.
The star of Donegal.
Well done, sir. Everyone says you are the star of Donegal. How do you feel?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank my family, my girlfriend, and everyone who supported me. It was a tough job, but I managed to pull it off with Paul's cheerleading.
Hey.
Do you get the seal on the right way up?
Yeah, look, holes at the bottom. It's all good. Worry not, viewers.
Now he can't hold on to the seal because he's got so much fairy liquid on his gloves.
Perfect in form and function.
Now we do have the pliers for these outer bands. Not everyone can put them on so quickly and easily. But that is the door seal done. And now he just needs to whip the motor off. And we're going to just preempt another service call in maybe 2 to 3 years' time by actually doing the motor carbon brushes. And of course there's plenty of videos to show you how to do this on the website. 10mm, 2 10mm. Is this the one with bolts all the way through, or just
2 10mm?
Just 2 10mm.
But look, this access panel makes such a difference in these.
Oh yeah,
really
very much so.
It's a 9mm, sorry. It really does.
And actually this machine, because it has the anti-flood device, you can tilt the machine over, not even take the motor off, and change the carbon brushes through the base of the machine. But Barry's going to do this the correct way because he knows how fidgety they are, and he's lost his pin nose pliers, so he's having to use his largest pliers.
Budget cuts.
You'll need a screwdriver to prise it. You'll need a screwdriver to prise it.
There's a huge amount of bounce in it, isn't there? There's a huge amount of bounce.
Oh, that's normal. There's 2 springs at the top and 2 shock absorbers at the bottom. And these were the old shock absorbers on this machine, which had, you could actually service a shock absorber with a kit.
Just want to give it a little bit of a shock because
they can be buggers, and don't forget this motor has been stuck on that plastic for 23 years. I will edit some of this. And we have a winner! Woohoo! Cable tie, if I remember correctly, holding the plastic on.
yeah.
And also undo the plug. This is one of those machines. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I can do it blindfolded. I'd hate to say how many 1,000 of these I've worked on. Is that a company logo on the back saying, is it? Legacy Design Purpose.
It's their all new logo, yeah. And I got the first one sent in Europe.
Because that's part of their football gear, isn't it?
It's part of their strategy from next year on, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if you put the lid on the washing machine, and then we can have a quick look at this. And this lady only does, in my opinion, 20 years, 2 washes a week maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I bet you those carbons are not in bad condition. Yeah.
Brand new.
Well, they're 3/4. There's 3/4 of a life left on them. I mean, they've only. Have you never had this machine worked on?
Never.
Well, I must admit, I mean, this is in excellent condition. And as I say, you don't give him a bell. Next time you've got to get rid of the machine, you give me a bell because I'll have that for my showroom. I can't emphasise how good a machine this was.
So, just judging by the condition of these and because they're original, I'm going to leave them in situ.
No, I wouldn't change them. They're not worth changing.
Not broken, not fixing.
No. If she's only used 1/4 of the brushes in 23 years, there's another 40 left.
And here the motor, the bearings, even's in beautiful
Everything
condition.
is in beautiful condition.
Beautiful little machine.
There was enough parts available for this machine that a lot of suppliers will have things like the water valve, the carbon brushes, the door seals. I believe things like the door seal, the pump, the carbon brushes, the water valve are still on the shelf today. And Bosch still support the machine with a lot of the parts. Because these were made in their hundreds of thousands. Yeah, for all over Europe. And also with our recycling that I've been telling you about. Things like the whole motor, for example. If a machine had collapsed bearings, then Barry or one of the other business partners within the UK would sell that motor, because that motor most probably is £270 to buy new. Yeah, and that motor, one of our partners will have that motor for sale for £45. Yeah, and that's where the saving is. Because that motor, that motor is capable of doing 50 years without even blinking an eye. It's like the Mercedes car. It just went on forever and ever and ever. There's Mercedes cars in Africa with 1 million miles on the clock, and they've never had a spanner on them.
Yeah. I always drove Volkswagen.
Yeah.
But Renault is the only Volkswagen I haven't had. I've always driven Volkswagen. But when they falsify, like, I really approve of what you're doing and how the Germans did things. What amazing engineers they were. But
the problem being is
when Volkswagen falsified their emissions. I thought,
you lose trust in the company.
I'm done.
Yeah, well,
And they
look,
had me for a
the problem being today, these companies are run now by accountants, and it's not the engineers who are in charge of building and designing the machine and then passing the bill to the accountants. The accountants pass the money to the engineers and say, we want a machine for £350 and we're giving you £70 to build it. Yeah? This was done in a total... This is when a company was deliberately going out of its way to build a reputation. And this machine is, the last of the amazing machines.
And they wonder what's wrong with the world.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
I feel so proud. It's like a baby.
Well, look, it's truthfully,
I chose well. And
this is so well built, it could outlive your kids. Yeah. I kid you not. You have to decide which baby you like in the house. And trust me, this one doesn't give you any grief whatsoever. It just wants a couple of quid spent on it every 30, 40 years. Which is more you can save the kids today.
Yeah, sure. Even as you said earlier, the screws, like down to the smallest bits.
Oh, I couldn't have asked for a better week with Barry, because we've seen modern technology fail in such short periods of time with inverter boards. We had a Bico 2-3-year-old machine yesterday with, not yesterday, Tuesday, with a spider gone. Yeah. We had another machine with a set of bearings gone, all in under 5 years. Yeah. We had another machine with inverter problems. We had a fridge freezer with a circuit board, but that was 15, 20 years old. You know, some of these appliances were built to last.
I think some people clean the hell out of them as well, though.
Well, yours is,
I have a
you
sister.
really look after your machine.
Well, I don't do anything with it. I mean, you know.
The only thing that needs a touch of paint on this is the base plate, which is designed to collect water anyway, just needs a clean up. The rest of the cabinet is absolutely superb condition.
Did you say something was corroded, quite corroded, the base? Or
Yeah,
something,
it is an area in the machine where the anti-flood device is, and it's designed to collect water. So yes, that area is going to corrode.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yes. You see it, you can't unsee it. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Once you see it.
Every one of them plates corroded in them anyway, so
Right.
that's just the sacrifice they make.
23 years ago, I bet you paid £450 for this machine.
If not more. They're always in the high 500 to 600.
Could you pass me the workshop manual? Sorry, the lady even has the
They've never opened it.
it's never been opened original manual.
Wow.
Preparing laundry. Make sure you empty your pockets. Nowadays, all you get is a QR code and download it yourself. Now, do you mind if I film your kitchen?
No.
I just wanted to quickly show you. I mean, the lady has got impeccable choice when it comes to appliances. A standard double oven Zanussi, all with mechanical selector switch, 6-button LCD timer, a Dietrich cooker hood extractor going to external with the chimney, and a beautiful Belling fridge freezer, which after using AI, we were having bets whether it was a Zanussi or a Gorenja, and I lost the bet. This is actually a Gorenja fridge freezer, and it was manufactured in 2003. So this is another 20-year-old appliance. And take a look at the condition of this. You know, no cracks at all in any of the plastic. Everything in superb condition. The freezer, neatly organised as well. And all the seals and doors have a firmness about them. I mean, this is when Europe used to build great quality. And it's got the mechanical thermostat, which will be something like a Danfoss 3 running through to the back. And that was made by Gorenja. Absolutely superb quality. Okay, machine's all working perfectly again. Everything checked and tested. And I'm just having a look at the last thing here, which is most probably a 2010 or looking at the door, it's earlier than that.
Go back.
Go back, I think we're talking 2000.
Take a guess.
2002.
Here. Everything else kind of coming around the same age here. They were
Yeah.
obviously all bought at the one time, were
It
they?
must have been, I'm thinking, that ties in with the house, yeah.
And that's a vented dryer, and again built on the same design as the dryer that you saw earlier, which was a Zanussi, or AG was it?
Zanussi as well.
Zanussi as well, but that was a condenser dryer.
We call these the yellow button era because
Right.
the wash machines was the FL 1045 to match.
Right.
And they were sold between 03 and 06 before
Right.
the new design came along.
I didn't realise you were doing machines in your diapers.
I was, young age, yeah. I mind them coming out, and every house had the yellow button. Once you heard the yellow button being mentioned, it was either a set of brushes or a door seal, maybe the odd timer fault, but there were a lot of houses. Any of them that bought these still have them today.
Right.
Fantastic products also.
Okay, well, thank you very much for letting me film
Do
everything.
you know, it's been the most interesting half hour. I'm not joking yet. Because it proves everything, I think.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
Well,
You
you only need to speak to your children
Yeah.
and understand the mechanical problems they have with everything today to understand what you've got in here is worth gold.
They wouldn't
No,
know nowadays. They would
wouldn't
chuck
use
that
the
out, you know,
filters.
and put on something from maybe Curry's or something, you know. It's just, you worked hard during those times to buy those high-end things, and you
Yes,
looked
but
after
they
them.
lasted
They
20
lasted
years.
20 years.
And your grannies tell you, you know, spend what you can, buy the best
yeah.
you can,
Yeah.
and you won't regret
But
it.
these youngsters today are all buying, you know, they have been greenwashed by the manufacturers into thinking that a washing machine lifespan nowadays is 5 years. This machine, if well maintained, will hit 50 years, no problem at all, because there's nearly no corrosion in that machine whatsoever, because it's been looked after. Anyway, we could stay here for hours, but we need to get on to the next job. Okay, it's coming up 3 o'clock, so I'm having to go back to the unit. Barry's still got how many more calls to do?
I have 3 or 4 jobs to go to yet.
Yeah, so he's going to continue punching these out. I've got to get things organised for a live show at 5 o'clock, and I've also got some editing to do. And, you know, it was a joy today, more than any of the other 3 days, because to see some of those machines with the problems that they had, and that one house to see the quality of when Germany really did manufacture great equipment, actually brings tears to your eyes, really, when you consider the age of the machine and the condition it was in. Absolutely fantastic. What have you got lined up now then?
I have a couple of fridges and a dishwasher, I believe, that needs a card fill to it. So nice and easy, please God. But absolutely glad to get out of that house I was in there for. You could stay there all day, couldn't you?
Oh,
and just
yeah.
admire the times
Well,
gone by.
to be honest, even the base plate I was wanting to take out and get the paint out and restore the base plate. When you see something like that, you just want to keep it going.
Yeah.
And there's no reason that machine shouldn't continue for another 20 years. And the only terminal thing that could happen to it is the programmer, yeah?
Yeah.
But even if the bearings fail or the spider fails, as long as it's caught early enough, it's rebuildable.
It is.
And it's worth rebuilding.
Beautiful product.
Yeah.
Hopefully it serves the customer.
But I just loved the anti-siphon on the, not the anti-siphon, sorry, the tube running down from the fill pipe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which was, what do they call those fill pipes?
The anti-flood.
Anti-flood fill hose. isn't it?
Anti-flood full hose, but
Yeah.
such a simple way. Like most machines will have an electronic PCB
Yeah.
to detect water. That is so simple, so reliable.
Yeah.
Down to the base with the one float switch is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, such a good system.
Anyway, we could rabbit onto you for hours and hours because it's our forte. It's what we like talking about. But I don't want to bore you all. There's going to be a few more videos coming up on Donegal. I'm hoping to sit down or stand up outside the unit with a few of the engineers to get their views on this industry now. And I'm hoping to do that tomorrow or Monday if I stay here till Monday. I've got to go up to Derry next, and I'm being very careful the way I say that, not to upset anyone in Ireland, because if I call it Londonderry, I'll get a slap in certain locations. So I'm just calling it Derry to stay on the safe side. And then I'm crossing over to UK, where we'll be visiting some other partners and also making some other videos for you. Thanks very much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you wish, and you can always donate to the website by clicking on the Buy Paul a Beer page. And I might buy him one. Go buy Paul a beer. Ciao.